welcome to Springfield Career Insights. Tonight, we speak to the young person who feels stuck, the parent who feels overwhelmed, and the family that feels life has become a constant uphill climb. We live in a time where dreams are expensive, opportunities are limited, and reality can feel heavier than hope. Many young people are asking themselves, is my future still possible? Can I rise from where I am? Does hard work still matter when life keeps pushing me back? These are not small questions. They are the questions that shape identity, direction, and destiny. So we ask, how does a young person build a future when life is hard, resources are limited, and progress feels slow? And how do we keep hope alive without ignoring the reality of struggle? To guide us through this deeply human and emotional conversation, we are joined by His Excellency Dr. Godfrey Gandawa, President of Springfield Research University, Architect of Education 6.0, and a continental voice on resilience, human potential, and the psychology of progress. President, welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. So at Springfield, we teach that a dream is not a fantasy. It is a direction. The reality may be hard, but it is not a prison. A young person rises not by giant leaps, but by small, disciplined steps that honor the future even when the present is difficult. So when we combine hope with strategy and resilience with daily action, we discover that even the hardest life can still produce a meaningful future.
Thank you, Professor. President, many young people have big dreams but harsh realities. Why is it so difficult to balance hope with survival?
Thank you, Doctor. So it is difficult to balance hope with survival because the human heart lives in two worlds at once. One world is the world of dreams, the place where you see who you could become, what you could build, how far your life could stretch. The other world is the world of reality. That's the place where rent is due, where possibilities, responsibilities pile up, where life demands strength even when you feel empty. And the weight of these two worlds pulls a young person in opposite directions. So hope whispers, keep going. Survival whispers, be careful. Hope says, you were made for more. And survival says, just make it through today. So this tension, Doctor, is not confusion. It is the cost of becoming. Young people struggle because hope requires imagination, but survival requires energy. And harsh realities drain the very energy needed to dream. So they struggle because the world celebrates success loudly, but suffers silently. They struggle, they continue struggling because they are told to believe in themselves, yet they wake up every day to circumstances that do not believe in them. They struggle because hope is light, but survival is heavy. And carrying both feels like walking with the sky on your shoulders. But here is the truth that cuts through the noise, Doctor. Hope is not the opposite of survival. Hope is the fuel of survival. So it is the quiet fire that keeps you moving when life is unkind. It is the stubborn voice that refuses to let your circumstances become your destiny. It is the small, trembling belief that tomorrow can still shift in your favor. So balancing hope and survival is difficult because it requires courage, and the courage to fight for today while still believing in tomorrow. So, and that courage, Doctor, is what turns ordinary people into stories worth remembering.
Thank you, Professor. When life becomes overwhelming, What is the first step a young person should take to avoid giving up on their dreams?
Thank you, Doctor. So when life becomes overwhelming, the first step for a young person to take is to pause long enough to breathe again. Not to solve everything, not to fix the whole future, just to breathe. Overwhelm is a storm, and no one thinks clearly in the middle of the storm. So you step back, you slow down, you let your mind settle so your strength can return. Because the danger is not the pressure, it is the panic. And panic convinces you that your dreams are impossible when they are simply delayed. Once you breathe, you take the smallest step you can manage, not the biggest, just the smallest. A call, a plan, a task, a decision. Small steps rebuild power. Small steps restores direction, and small steps remind you that you are not defeated. You are simply tired. And tired people don't need to give up. They just need to regroup. When life overwhelms you, your first step is not action, it is recovery, doctor. From recovery comes clarity. From clarity comes courage. From courage comes movement. And that movement is what keeps your dreams alive.
Thank you, Professor. You often say dreams require structure, not just emotion. What does structured dreaming look like?
Thank you, Doctor. So, structured dreaming is when your dream stops floating and starts walking. It is when the fire in your chest meets the discipline in your hands. Most people dream with emotion, the excitement, the fantasy, the rush of imagining a bigger life. But emotion without structure burns bright and dies fast. Structured dreaming is different. It is the art of turning a vision into a system. So it looks like this: a dream that has a direction that has a plan that has a routine that has discipline, and discipline that has a purpose. So structured dreaming means you don't just say, I want to be great. You say, this is what I will do today to move 1 inch closer to greatness. So it means breaking a big dream into small, repeatable actions that survive bad days, low energy, and real world pressure. So it means building habits that protect your future even when your emotions collapse. It means choosing consistency over intensity. It means choosing progress over perfection. It means choosing direction over speed. So structured dreaming is the moment your dream stops being a wish, doctor, and becomes a commitment. It is the moment you stop waiting for inspiration and start building infrastructure, because dreams don't come true because you feel them deeply. Dreams come true because you build them daily. This is structured dreaming, doctor. Hope with a backbone, vision with a calendar, destiny with a strategy. And that is how ordinary people turn impossible futures into inevitable outcomes.
Thank you, Professor. President, how can young people stay focused on their goals when their environment constantly discourages them?
So thank you, doctor. So young people lose focus because their environment is loud, but their dreams are quiet. So the noise around them is constant, discouraging, chaotic, and predictable. And when the outside world is loud, the inner world becomes shaky. So how do they stay focused? They build an inner environment stronger than the outer one. Focus begins with selective action, choosing what deserves your energy and starving what drains it. Not every voice is a voice of truth, doctor. Not every opinion is a prophecy. Not every comment deserves a reaction. You stay focused by protecting your mind, the same way you protect your home. You don't let everything in. You stay focused by creating routines that enter you even when the world around you is unstable. So a routine is a shield. A structure is a refuge. Discipline is a quiet rebellion against discouragement. You stay focused by remembering why you started. Your environment may not believe in you, but your purpose does. Your future does. Your inner voice does. And you stay focused by surrounding yourself with even one person who sees your potential without jealousy, without fear, without limitation. One voice of belief can silence 1,000 voices of doubt, you see. And here is the deeper truth, doctor. A hostile environment does not stop a focused person. You see, it sharpens them, it hardens them, it prepares them. Because focus is not the absence of noise. Focus is the decision to rise above it.
Thank you, Professor. Many young people feel like their dreams are too big for their circumstances. How can they overcome this internal doubt?
Thank you, doctor. So, young people often feel that their dreams are too big because they are comparing their vision to their circumstances instead of comparing it to their potential. And when your environment is loud with limitation, even a God-given dream can feel like an exaggeration. So the first breakthrough comes when you realize this. Your dream is not oversized. Your environment is undersized. And environments can change, doctor. Internal doubt is not a verdict on your ability. It is simply the echo of unfamiliar territory. So every time you step into a future you have never lived before, your mind will ask, are you sure? That question is not meant to stop you. It is meant to prepare you. The way out is to shrink the dream into steps your hands can hold. Not the whole mountain, just the next stone. Not the whole journey, just the next kilometer. Clarity calms fear. Action silences doubt. And when your own belief feels too thin to carry you, borrow belief from mentors, from books, from people who have walked the road you are afraid of. So sometimes the bridge between where you are and where you are going is someone else's confidence in you. Above all, protect your dream from small-minded spaces. When I say small-minded spaces, I'm even talking about people. Some rooms are too shallow for deep destinies. Some conversations are too narrow for wide visions. Guard your imagination like a national treasure. Your dream is not too big. You are simply growing into the version of yourself who can hold it. Keep moving. Keep sketching. Keep rising. Because the moment you take the first step, the dream stops being impossible and starts becoming inevitable.
Thank you, Professor. Let's take a break and listen to our gospel song, My Hope Has a Name.
My hope has a name. Hey! When the night felt never ending and my strength was wearing thin. When the questions kept on rising, like a storm I stood within. You stepped into my darkness, lit a fire in my soul, and the hope I thought was missing came alive and took control. My hope has a name, Jesus, Jesus. My peace has a voice, Jesus, Jesus. When the world feels like it's falling, when my heart is losing flame, I look up and I remember my hope has a name. When the weight was on my shoulders and the tears were hard to hide, when the valley felt unending and the mountains mocked my stride, you reminded me of mercy, you reminded me of grace, and the hope I thought had faded stood before me face to face. My hope has a name, Jesus, Jesus. My peace has a voice, Jesus, Jesus. When the world feels like it's falling, when my heart is losing faith, I look up and I remember my hope has a name. You are the anchor in the tempest. You are the light that breaks the night. You are the truth that never wavers. You are the everlasting Christ. Every promise finds its meaning. Every fear begins to fade. When I speak the name of Jesus, hope comes rushing like a wave. My hope has a name, Jesus, Jesus. My peace has a voice, Jesus, Jesus. When the world feels like it's falling, when my heart is losing flame, I look up and I remember my hope has a name. My hope has a name, Jesus.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. President, what role does discipline play in turning dreams into achievable plans?
Thank you, Doctor. So discipline. Discipline is the quiet architect behind every dream that becomes a plan and every plan that becomes a life. Dreams are emotional. They ignite you. But discipline, Doctor, is structural. It builds you. A dream without discipline is like a house drawn on paper, beautiful, inspiring, but unable to shelter you. Discipline turns that drawing into bricks, beams, and foundations. Discipline is the moment you choose consistency over mood. It is waking up when your feelings are still asleep. It is doing the work when nobody is clapping. It is honoring your future self more than your present comfort. When a young person embraces discipline, the dream stops floating in the air. It starts taking shape on the ground, and suddenly the impossible becomes measurable. The distant becomes scheduled. The overwhelming becomes organized. Discipline is not punishment, doctor. It is protection. Protection from distraction, from procrastination, from the slow erosion of potential. It is the shield that guards your dream from the chaos of life. And here is the secret, doctor. Discipline does not make the journey easier. It makes you stronger. Strong enough to carry the weight of the dream you once thought was too heavy. Your dream is the fire. Discipline is the fireplace that gives it direction, containment, and power. Without discipline, the fire burns out. With the discipline, it lights up your entire future.
Thank you, Professor. Many young people compare their progress to others and feel behind. How can they stay grounded?
Thank you, doctor. So young people feel behind because they are comparing their becoming to someone else's highlight reel. And nothing destroys confidence faster than measuring your journey with someone else's ruler. The truth is simple but hard to swallow. You are not late. You are not slow. You are not failing. You are simply your own timeline, not theirs. Comparison is a thief because it blinds you to your own progress. You stop seeing how far you have come because you are staring at how far someone else has gone. But every destiny has its own rhythm, you see. Some people bloom early, some bloom quietly, some bloom suddenly. But everyone blooms in their season. To stay grounded, a young person must return to their land. Your land has its own lessons, its own timing, its own breakthroughs. When you honor your land, you stop panicking about someone else's speed. And here is the deeper truth, doctor. You don't know the battles behind another person's success. You don't know the sacrifices, the tears, the sleepless nights, the failures they never post. You are comparing your behind the scenes to their edited trailer. It will never be a fair comparison, doctor. Grounding comes from focusing on what you can control. Your habits, your discipline, your growth. If you are better than you were yesterday, you are not behind. You are becoming. And becoming takes time. It takes patience. It takes silence. It is the season where nothing seems to be moving, even though everything inside you is shrinking. So breathe. Walk your path. Trust your pace. Your story is not late. It is unfolding. And when your moment arrives, it will make sense why you had to move at the speed of wisdom, not the speed of pressure.
Thank you, Professor. President, what is the difference between adjusting a dream and abandonment?
So thank you, doctor. So the difference between adjusting a dream and abandoning it is the difference between evolution and surrender. One keeps the dream alive, the other buries it. So a dream is adjusted when life teaches you more about who you are, what you want, and how the world works. Growth will always refine your vision. Maturity will always reshape your path. As you evolve, the dream evolves with you, not because it died, but because you became clearer. You see, so abandoning a dream is different. That is when you silence a calling because fear grew louder than purpose. It is when you walk away, not because the dream no longer fits, but because the journey became uncomfortable. Abandonment is not transformation. It is retreat. Adjustment is strategic. Abandonment is emotional. When you adjust a dream, you are still moving towards the same horizon, just with better tools, better timing, and better understanding. When you abandon a dream, you turn your back on the horizon completely. Young people must learn to ask themselves one honest question. Am I changing the dream because I have grown or because I am scared? If the change comes from clarity, wisdom, or new information, that is adjustment. If it comes from exhaustion, comparison, or fear of failure, that is abandonment. Your dream is allowed to change shape, doctor. It is allowed to mature. It is allowed to take a different route. Just don't let it disappear. Because destiny doesn't require you to be perfect. It only requires you to stay in the story.
Thank you, Professor. Let's take a break and listen to our gospel song, The Cross Still Speaks.
In the quiet of the morning, when the world is barely stirred, there's a message from the ages that my heart has often heard. It's the echo of redemption. It's the whisper of release from the hill where love was lifted, oh, where the cross still speaks of peace. The cross still speaks through every fear, through every doubt. The cross still speaks when my strength is running out. It declares that I am forgiven. It proclaims that I am free. The cross still speaks, and its mercy speaks for me. When the weight of shame grows heavy and the past begins to rise, when the enemy reminds me of the failures I disguise, there's a voice that breaks the darkness. There's a truth that never fades. What was finished on that hillside still is speaking to this day. The cross still speaks through every fear, through every doubt. The cross still speaks when my strength is running out. It declares that I am forgiven. It proclaims that I am free. The cross still speaks, and its mercy speaks for me. It speaks of love unending. It speaks of grace untold. It speaks of wounds that heal me. It speaks of hope made whole. And though centuries have passed now, its message does not cease. For the blood that cried forgiven still is crying out for peace. The cross still speaks through every fear, through every doubt. The cross still speaks when my strength is running out. It declares that I am forgiven. It proclaims that I am free. The cross still speaks, and its His mercy speaks for me. Hey, yeah.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. How can young people stay motivated when progress is slow or invisible?
Thank you, Doctor. So, slow progress is one of the most painful seasons for a young person because it feels like you are giving everything and getting nothing back. It feels like you are moving, but life is not moving with you. And that silence can break even the strongest spirit if you don't understand what's really happening beneath the surface. The first truth is this, Doctor. Progress is often invisible because it becomes undeniable. Seeds grow roots before they grow leaves. Foundations are built underground before the first house rises above the soil. Your life works the same way, Doctor. People don't understand this. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean nothing is happening. Motivation in slow seasons comes from shifting your focus from outcomes to habits. You may not control the timing of results, but you control the consistency of your effort. And consistency is what keeps the dream alive when evidence is still hiding. So, a young person must also learn to celebrate the quiet wins, the discipline they didn't have last year, the mindset that is maturing, the resilience that is forming. These are not small things. They are the architecture of a future breakthrough. And here is the deeper truth, Doctor. Slow seasons are not punishment. You see, they are preparation. Life slows you down when it is strengthening you for something bigger than your current capacity. If everything came quickly, you would collapse under the weight of your own success. So, to stay motivated, anchor yourself in purpose, not pace. Purpose keeps you steady when speed disappears. Purpose reminds you, Doctor, why you started when the journey feels thankless. So, purpose whispers, keep going. When progress whispers nothing at all. Your story is not stuck, it is simmering. And when the time is right, the same journey that felt slow will suddenly feel accelerated. But only for those who kept what? Walking when the road was quiet.
Thank you, Professor. President, what advice would you give to a young person who feels like life is unfair and stacked against them?
Thank you, Doctor. So, when the young person feels life is unfair and is stacked against them, they are not imagining it. They are describing a reality many young people quietly carry. Some are born into storms they did not create. Some start the race 10 meters behind the line. Some fight battles that others will never see. But here is the truth I want them to hold with both hands. Life's unfairness is not a prophecy. It is a condition. And conditions can be outgrown, outworked, outthought, and outlived. The first step is to stop taking unfairness personally. It is not a sign that you are cursed, forgotten, or unworthy. It is a sign that you are being shaped in a harder school, a school that produces resilience, clarity, and depth. Some of the strongest leaders were forged in the fire of unfair beginnings. The second step is to shift from why me to what now. Why me keeps you in the womb. You see? Why now moves you into strategy. You cannot control the cards you were dealt, but you can control how you play them. And some people win with worse cards because they listened or they learned how to think, how to adapt, how to persist. The third step is to build smaller victories. When life feels heavy, don't chase the whole dream at once. Win the day, win the week, win the habit. Small wins create momentum, and momentum creates hope. And finally, doctor, surround yourself with people who remind you of your strength, not your struggles. When life is unfair, the wrong voices can break you, but the right voices can resurrect you. You don't need a crowd. You need a cycle that sees you becoming even when your circumstances hide it. Life may be unfair, but you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are simply in the chapter where the pressure is building the person who will handle the promise. Your story is not defined by the unfairness you faced. It is defined by the strength you discovered while facing it.
Thank you, Professor. How can young people build resilience when they face repeated setbacks?
Thank you, Doctor. So, the repeated setbacks can break a young person's confidence if they don't understand what those setbacks are actually doing to them. So, setbacks are not just obstacles, they are sculptors. They shape you in ways success never could. When life keeps knocking you down, the first thing you must remember is this: you are not starting from zero each time. You are starting from experience. So every fall leaves you with something, a lesson, a skill, a sharper instinct, a deeper resilience. So resilience begins when you stop treating setbacks as personal attacks and start seeing them as part of the training. Life is not punishing you. Life is preparing you. Some destinies require a thicker skin, a steadier mind, a stronger spirit, and setbacks are the gym where that strength is built. So a young person, doctor, must also learn to pause without quitting. The rest is not surrender. Reflection is not defeat. Sometimes you need to step back, breathe, and ask, what is this setback trying to teach me? Because every repeated challenge carries a repeated message. Once you learn it, the pattern breaks. And don't walk the journey alone. When setbacks pile up, isolation becomes dangerous. You need voices that remind you of your power when your own voice is tired. You need people who see your potential even when your progress is hidden. Most importantly, you keep moving even if the movement is small. Resilience, doctor, is not built in the moments you feel strong. It is built in the moments you feel broken, but rise anyway. It is built in the days you want to give up, but take one more step. It is built in the seasons where nothing makes sense, yet you refuse to disappear. So setbacks don't define you. Your response to them does. And every time you rise, you become a little more unshakable, a little more focused, a little more ready for the life you are building. You are not failing repeatedly. You are being forged repeatedly.
Thank you, Professor. President, What practical habits can young people stay committed to their long-term goals?
So thank you, Doctor. Long-term goals are not sustained by excitement. They are sustained by habits, quiet, steady, and glamorous habits that build a future brick by brick. A young person doesn't need a dramatic return. They need a rhythm that keeps them aligned with who they are becoming. The first habit is showing up even on the days when motivation is asleep. Consistency is not about feeling ready. It's about honoring the promise you made to your future self. If you can show up when it's boring, you can show up when it's brilliant. The second habit is protecting your morning. How you start your day shapes how you fight your battles. So a calm, intentional morning builds a focused, intentional life. Even 10 minutes of clarity can change the direction of an entire day. So the third habit is tracking your progress in small, honest ways, not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself that you are moving. When you can see your growth, even in tiny steps, commitment becomes easier. Progress is fuel, Doctor. The fourth habit is curating your environment. Your habits cannot survive in a space that contradicts them. Surround yourself with people, routines, and conversations that reinforce your direction. Environment is stronger than willpower. The fifth habit is resisting with purpose, not guilty. Burnout kills more dreams than failure ever will. So rest is not a reward, Doctor. It is maintenance. A sharpened mind works better than a tired one. And finally, the habit of reminding yourself why you started. So purpose is the anchor that keeps you steady when the journey feels long. When you reconnect with your why, your how becomes lighter. Long-term goals are not achieved by dramatic leaps. They are achieved by daily alignment, small actions repeated with discipline, clarity, and heart. If a young person can master their habits will master their future.
Wow, this is amazing. Let's take a commercial break and stay tuned.
At Springfield Research University, we don't teach to pass exams, we encode futures. Grounded in Education 6.0 and powered by STEMA, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine, and automation, we deliver modular, sovereign learning across undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs. Explore our prospectus, where every curriculum is designed to STEMatize every discipline, dignify local authorship, and credential transformative knowledge. Be STEMatized, be sovereign. Here, knowledge is authored, not borrowed. Curriculum is credentialed, not copied. Every graduate becomes an architect of transformation. With 2 annual intakes, March and September, the path to innovation is always open. From the logic of automation to the soul of indigenous intelligence, SRU is where tomorrow is designed. Springfield isn't just a university, it's an epicenter of epistemic dignity. Join the movement. Study where learning governs itself. Springfield Research University, the globe is here. Where are you?
Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. President, how can young people protect their dreams from negative influences or discouraging voices?
Thank you, Doctor. So a young person's dream is fragile in its early stages. It is a flame in the wind, bright but vulnerable. And the wrong voice, the wrong environment, the wrong comment at the wrong time can dim it before it ever becomes fire. So the first act of protection is understanding this. Not every voice deserves access to your vision. Some people speak from fear. Some speak from jealousy, many of them. Some speak from their own unhealed failures. And if you are not careful, their wounds will become your limits. A young person must learn to guard their dream the way a gardener guards a seed. You don't plant a seed in any soil. You choose the soil that can nourish it. In the same way, you choose the conversations, the friendships, the spaces that feed your becoming. Protecting your dream also means learning the art of selective silence. You don't need to announce everything you are building. Some dreams grow best in quiet rooms. Some plans need privacy before they need applause. Silence is not secrecy, it is strategy. And when discouraging voices rise, anchor yourself in your why. And your why is the shield that absorbs the arrows of doubt. When you remember why you started, the noise loses its power. Surround yourself with people who speak life into your ambition, people who challenge you without shrinking you, people who see your potential even when your progress is still invisible. One supportive voice can outweigh 100 negative ones. Most importantly, protect your inner dialogue. The loudest discouraging voice is often the one inside your own head. Train it. Strengthen it. Teach it to speak possibility, not fear. Because if your inner voice believes in the dream, no external voice can kill it. Your dream is a future waiting for your courage. Guard it, feed it, grow it, and let no voice, not even your own, convince you that you were not born to build something extraordinary.
Thank you, Professor. Professor, how can young people identify which dreams are truly theirs and which are borrowed from society or family?
So thank you, Doctor. A young person can only rise into their true destiny when they learn to separate the dream in their heart from the dream the world handed to them. And that is one of the most liberating and painful gems of youth. A borrowed dream feels heavy. It feels like duty, not desire. It drains you instead of energizing you. It sounds like your parents, your community, your culture, but it does not sound like you. Your true dream feels different. It pulls you. It whispers to you in quiet moments. It keeps returning even when you try to silence it. It feels like home, even when it scares you. So the easiest way for a young person to know the difference is to listen to their emotional truth. A borrowed dream creates pressure. A true dream creates alignment. A borrowed dream demands performance. A true dream demands authenticity. And another sign is how you feel when no one is watching. If the dream only excites you when others are applauding or applauding you, it's borrowed. If it excites you even in silence, even in struggle, even in secrecy, it's yours. Young people must also pay attention to the dreams that survive failure. A borrowed dream dies the moment things get hard. A true dream survives disappointment, criticism, and confusion. So it refuses to leave you alone. And finally, ask yourself, if no one had an opinion about my life, what would I choose? That question strips away society, culture, and expectation. And what remains is your voice, your calling, your becoming. So a true dream is not chosen for you. It is chosen from you. It rises from your gifts, your pain, your curiosity, your joy, your story. And once you recognize it, you owe it the courage to follow it, even if the world expected something else. Because the most powerful life is the one lived from the inside out, not the outside in. Doctor.
Thank you, Professor. President, what message would you give to a young person who feels like they are running out of time?
Thank you, Doctor. When a young person feels that they are running out of time, it is usually because they are measuring their life against the clocks that were never designed for their destiny. They are comparing themselves to timelines that belong to other people, other gens, and other stories. And nothing suffocates potential faster than the belief that you are late. But here is the truth I want them to breathe in slowly. You are not running out of time. You are running out of patience with yourself. And those are two very different things. Life does not unfold in a straight line. Some people rise early, some rise quietly, some rise suddenly, but everyone rises in their season. And your season is not determined by age. It is determined by alignment. The feeling of being late comes from looking sideways instead of inward. When you look inward, you realize that every chapter you lived, even the painful ones, was preparing you for the chapter you are about to enter. Nothing was wasted, not the delays, not the detours, not the disappointments. They were shaping you, not stopping you. So a young person must understand that destiny is not a race, it is a rhythm. And when you move in your rhythm, you stop panicking about pace. You stop rushing your becoming. You stop treating your life like a countdown. You are not behind, you are becoming, and becoming takes time. It takes silence. It takes seasons when nothing seems to be happening, even though everything inside you is shifting. So to the young person who feels like time is slipping away, I say this with conviction. You are exactly where your story needs you to be. Keep building, keep learning, keep moving. Your moment has not passed. It is preparing its entrance. And when it arrives, it will not be late. It will be right on time for the person you have grown to become.
Thank you, Professor. Finally, President, what is your message to every young person trying to build a meaningful future in a world that often feels unforgiving?
Thank you, Doctor. So to every young person trying to build a meaningful future in a world that often feels unforgiving, hear me clearly. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not dramatic for feeling tired. You are not lost for questioning your path. You are human and becoming. The world can be harsh. It can be loud. It can be unfair in ways that bruises the spirit. But the world's harshness is not stronger than your becoming. Your story is bigger than the storms you were born into. The first thing I want you to know is this. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to rebuild yourself as many times as you need. Meaningful futures are not built in a straight line. They are built in spirals, detours, pauses, and restarts. The second thing is this. Do not underestimate the power of small, consistent steps. The world celebrates the leap, but destiny rewards the daily. Every quiet effort you make, every skill you sharpen, every habit you strengthen, every fear you confront is constructing a future you cannot see yet. The third thing is this: protect your hope. Hope is not naive. Hope is not weakness. Hope is strategy. Hope is the fuel that keeps you moving when evidence is still catching up. Guard it the way a nation guards its borders. And finally, remember this truth: you are not building your future alone. You are building it with every person who believes in you, every mentor who guides you, every friend who lifts you, every stranger who inspires you. You are part of a generation that is rewriting what is possible. So keep going, keep building, keep rising. The world may be unforgiving, but your resilience is extraordinary. Your courage is loud. Your potential is undeniable. And your future, no matter how delayed, no matter how difficult, is still yours to shape. You are not running out of time. You are rising into it. Thank you, Doctor, for letting me.
Thank you, President, for reminding us that dreams are not fantasies, they are directions. Your message tonight teaches that progress is built through small, consistent steps, even when life is difficult. To our audience, if you're ready to build your future with resilience and strategy, Springfield Research University invites you to join a community where dreams are engineered into reality. Visit www.springfieldresearchuniversity.net to begin. This brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Springfield Career Insights. May your dreams remain alive, your steps remain steady. I am Clarence, your host.
Incorporating English for a multilingual tapestry. Genjabulo sihlomela impilo lenhle lena. Hey hey, siyakhuphuka tikiti lethu Tanza lungakiwa. Hey hey, siyakhuphuka sonke siyavumelana ngemjululo muhle sonke similela. Hey hey, siyakhuphuka tikiti lethu Tanza lungakiwa. Hey hey hey, siyakhuphuka sonke siyavumelana ngemjululo muhle sonke simile.